shit, hold on. Alright, it's 12:13 in the morning. I've been awake for over 16 hours, which is what your body usually allots you, right? I feel like shit. I feel terrible. Um I just a lot of things happen, I'm just depressed. So, in en lieu of me not being able to sleep, me being tired, and just me not doing so hot, let's talk. It's been a while since I recorded a proper episode of the Evan Button Show, and yeah, uh, just talk about music, I guess. I mean, I talked about music in the Billy Corgan episode, but I'll talk about my music. Apologies for atypical speech patterns here. You know, at my core, I'm still I'm still in or semi-urban. I'm still a semi-urban Pennsylvanian, right? So I won't be speaking with the drawn-out sophistication that I try to inject into my language to make it more, to make it more, I don't know, whimsical. Yeah, it's gonna be like completely absent. Um, Not completely. I don't know, but so yeah, I've got some new music coming out. I I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record another double album soon. But I've been recording a lot of longer songs recently, so it's probably gonna be mostly longer songs from here on out. Cause I don't know, I like it that way. It's more compact, and if I want to keep if I want to keep tonal consistency through a period of time, because a lot of songs or albums they try to do that. They try to keep that consistency through several tracks, um, to bridge that gap between tracks where maybe something's different in the mixing or whatever. It poses less challenges to me, and I also just like the longer song format. You know, for a lot of reasons. For someone uploading music, it's way easier to upload a bunch of longer tracks because you have to upload less individual files, you have to name less individual files, or that's how it works on DistroKid. And yeah, the whole like the Charlemagne concatenation and the Final Cut and other long albums, even like doing something like Tesseract where it's only like 20 songs and or something like that. It still feels like a really long process. It's really long and winded. Like, I don't know, just all the buttons you have to tap and to make sure you get everything right. Make sure you do all the credits and everything, and then make sure, because I try to charge my albums at the lowest possible price. Because I mean, if you're gonna support me realistically, I don't want it to be a whole lot. I refuse to let my drive to, or my like desire to make money. I don't want that to rule me or my music, because it's not right. Being a musician isn't hard. Being a proper musician is probably damn hard. Going on tour and whatnot. And then being in a studio setting and like you actually have to be a perfectionist. Yeah, that's hard. I'm sure it's a lot harder than what I do at least. But I don't do that, and I have it pretty easy as a musician. I get a lot of praise for the little I do, and I'll never understand that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. But that being said, I do like the longer song format, and these past couple albums, they're shorter, but after the shortness, after that's over, it's gonna be picking up back to like 60 minute long albums. And I mean, I think if you're gonna make an album, you might as well do that, you know. But I'm gonna be doing like 8, 10 song albums. I do have a 4 song album coming out where they're all longer tracks, and that's the way I intend it, with the whole longer song thing. So, I mean, we'll see where we get with that, but yeah, like I said, I do really like the longer song format. So I'll probably have like 8 to 10 minutes or yeah, 8 to 10 minutes, but I'll have 8 to 10 song, you know, albums. Then I'll push them out, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there. I didn't write for a while because I was just focused on getting better, like as a guitar player and whatnot. So, I'm getting back into the swing of that. It's kind of like riding a bike. Even if you take a break from songwriting, you can always come back and, or at least I can always come back and do it. Um, just maintaining the same emotional integrity that my music had before, and then I don't know, talking about, I don't know, I kind of am at this bridge where I want to write about things that are like, I don't know, facets of life instead of, how I feel all the time, but, yeah, the lyrics I've been writing recently, they're very ambiguous, and I mean, I guess they're kind of that way by design. It's just what comes to mind. It's like as it relates to my life and everything and how I feel. Yeah, it's supposed to be relatable in a way where I mean, not only is it definitely a good thing that people do make lyrics that are really personal, but I also think it's a really great thing that people make lyrics that you know, are distinctive to them. That's why I try to avoid like place or anything like um I mean, I do have a lot of localization in like my discography. It's scattered through my discography, but there's also like points of my discography where it's just general, you know. And I mean, I think finding that balance is important. That's why I'm never satisfied with what my discography is, because I have so many bases to cover. And there's a lot of things that I like. There are a lot of things I do still need to cover, or I feel I need to cover. And I think that's just quintessential to my discography. Making sure making sure I maintain that headfirst drive to kind of broaden my horizons and stay true to what Cascade is, because until I get that like itch for professionalism when I'm out on my own and I'm doing my own thing, you know, probably after college and whatnot. Until then, here I am. I'm gonna be doing Cascade all through college, basically, and I mean, it's really a beautiful thing to have something like Cascade for sure, but you know, it's it's also challenging for me to be now like with my huge archival to be like, hey, here's something you should listen to. Like, and I came across that a lot with Farah when it came out. Oh, muddled the pronunciation there. Farah, the new one, and yeah, like I understand why people wouldn't listen to that album, you know, but at the same time, it's like all of my albums have something unique about them, or they're different in various ways. Like I can use the same chord and same strumming pattern, or I can use the same chords and same strumming patterns in a song, and it'll still, I mean, it'll be similar to something for sure. Like, you know, it'll be similar, but a lot of those songs, even with similar chords and whatnot, they end up having their own distinctive feel to them. And I'm not striving to make everything like unique from one another. I think that a song will fit itself. You don't need to go out of your way to make it completely different from something else. That's why, like, I don't know, that's why bands end up writing similar songs to other bands, because they yeah, there's only so many chords you can use and there's only so many combinations, but I mean, breaking convention is important. Sometimes, I have been known to break conventions. A lot of times I'm experimenting and whatnot. I want to use distortion more. I do want to get a more rock sound going here. Maybe not progressive, but I do want to get a good rock sound. Make a like a solid rock album. Or something. I wouldn't say heavy, but I do want it to have more grit sonically instead of being this squeaky clean sound, or make something more emo. Not like pop punk emo, but make something with a lot of guitar work that is reminiscent of like Midwestern emo. Because I do like those genres, and I mean, I do have riff ideas for those sorts of things, and I feel like a lot of it is I'm just scared to utilize those elements, and I mean, that's okay to be afraid of things like that. In um thinking about it, I do it because I don't want to disrespect the genre, but also I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. And I mean, I think that's okay because a lot of artists are like that. There, where they'll have an idea and it doesn't really fit their original ethos, and I mean that's bound to happen when you're a creator. So, yeah, we'll just see where that goes. But yeah, long song format for a while, and then I might do something short, cause yeah. Um. Uh. I do still want to make an adaptation of Upon Cobbled Streets, where I want to make a musical adaptation, but I haven't even started on that. That's a project for when I can really sit down and think about it, cause like thinking about it now, I remember the plot and everything, but like I'm already forgetting bits and pieces, things that might be important. And now that Upon Cobbled Streets is actually finished, I'm very glad that it's finished, because I mean now it's done. And everything set in stone is set in stone. There will be probably edits and revisions, but what it is now is what it is. And instead of the other story I had, where yeah, I forget his name, but uh yeah, it was kind of like another political commentary where I never finished that, but I really like the idea. I'm very happy that Upon Cobbled Streets is done, and now I can adapt it however I want to, you know. But as for creative bounds and everything, I'm really content, not always writing music anymore, because I can just play now, and I can focus on getting better at playing. So when I do write, it does fall into my convention, but it also is different. Going back to that whole point where it's like, why should you listen to this as opposed to something else I've put out? I guess production value has a lot to do with that, because I kind of know what I'm doing with producing now. You know, I'm not a great producer, but I understand. I mean, I've understood it for a while. It's just I didn't have the patience to like really put it into my music. But as I have expanded my catalog, I am at this point now where it's like, okay, I do want this to be listenable. You know, but yeah. So I mean, that's the state of my music so far, and I'm never gonna write conventional songs again. I'm never gonna do the verse chorus verse format again. But I mean, to just write lyrics down somewhere, it's really important. Sometimes to do that. Because if you have an organized way of or if you have an organized way of arranging your thoughts, it can make a really cohesive project. And in the future, like going on from now, because I'm sitting on a bunch of demos and those like songs that I talked about that are long, that I'm gonna incorporate into an album. Um, Going on from now, I think there are gonna be days where I sit down and I write about any amount of things, and then like I don't know, like divvy the lyrics and the themes and into you know this more, not compact, like the opposite of compact, but really like broaden the spectrum of my lyrical application, where now it's just I'm like saying lyrics in spurts, and then there'll be periods of just long instrumental playing, which is fine. That's totally conventional to me. That definitely like belongs to my music. But um yeah, so shit, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I want to have something that I don't know, like if I'm gonna be playing instrumentals for a long time and I'm not gonna be like saying anything, I don't want it to be this awkward transition where it's like, okay, he's saying something but he's not saying, or he's saying something now he's not saying something now he is saying something, because I don't have solos. That's another thing I want to incorporate into my music more. It's um I've tried to get better as a soloist, playing solos over rhythm tracks. That's really trialing with my current gear setup. It's not very enabling of me to be. I don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. I wish I did though, because I mean, yeah, that itch to make something more robust is within me. There are sounds all over my room right now, and I'm not exactly sure what they're coming from. But if you hear those, I'm sorry. I'm too lazy to edit the audio. Um, for fuck's sake, I don't even do volume control for these. I fucking That's gonna be loud as shit. I see the sound waves right there. Me flicking the microphone. That's gonna be so fucking loud. But yeah, I don't bother to do that, and yeah, it'll never change. This is another thing that's just for fun, man. You know, I'm a very creative person. I like creating, even if it's not always the highest quality or whatever, but I don't know. I always like doing something. I feel like a lot of people are like that, but I always like creating something that belongs to me or it's distinct to me. Sorry, I'm reaching for mints right now, but I don't know. I mean, the things that, it's easier for me to like things that I can consider as, like, me creating something. That's how I learned to like cooking. I really appreciate cooking, and I love Italian food. So, I mean, Italian food's pretty easy to cook unless you're making something super, culinarily inclined, but I don't do that. I just pasta and whatnot. I want to get more into Hungarian food, too. I really like golyasas, but, uh, yeah, I really like golyasas, and I don't know. Yeah, I want to explore more Slavic food, because I mentioned in the past that, I mean, I love Germany and everything, but I don't like German food. Um, or I don't like a lot of German food. There are some, like Pfannkuchen. Pfannkuchen is really good. Pancakes. So, Pfannkuchen. But, yeah, I do really like pancakes. I think those are German. And then, uh, pretzels are either Austrian or Bavarian. I think they're Bavarian, but, like the whole semantic. Do you want to call that German or Austrian for the time? It's really really gray. Anywho, yeah, I don't really like a lot of German or Austrian food, so I want to explore Hungarian food. Maybe, yeah, I want to explore a lot of like European cuisine. I like Swedish meatballs a lot. I don't know if those are actually Swedish though. Um, I think it's like Svenska kutnitten or something like that. Uh, something like that. Svenska kutnetter. Kutneten. Kutneten. Something, maybe. I don't know if I remember the name right. But, yeah, I don't hear anything about, uh, like, I don't hear a whole lot about Eastern European food or, like, Finnish food or anything, so, yeah, we'll see about that. But, yeah, creation is very important. And I mean, I'll always continue to create things. Like, I'll never stop writing, but I'm taking a break from writing because I need to reserve that for college right now. I can't be like burning myself out writing things that have absolutely nothing to do with you know college writing, because I did that with Upon Cobbled Streets, where I was like skipping classes just to keep writing. And I mean, a part of that comes from my autistic desire to like just finish something I've started as soon as possible while still trying to maintain the quality. And yeah, I mean, I'm always going to have that too, where if I start something, I'm like, okay, I need to finish this or do it as fast as possible or whatever while still trying to maintain that quality. And I do that when I make music too. It's like, okay, I have this idea. I need to capitalize on it. So I'll meddle through, piece together riffs and whatnot as much as I can. I don't rest until I have that idea, and then that's kind of how this came to be too, where it's like, okay, I could really try to go to sleep right now because I am tired, but I have this idea for an episode where things I want to talk about, so I'm going to do that instead. But yeah, I'm going to make this a shorter episode. It'll be like 30 minutes, but that all being said, man, yeah, I'm trying to reserve my energy. I'm trying my best to stay on, trying to stay with it, you know, trying to stay well. I think I'm kind of getting sick right now cuz I think I'm feverish. I'm burning through water and whatnot, like, I don't know. And I kind of got a little headache going, so we'll see. I don't like being sick, but I'd rather be, because I'm on a break right now, so, I'd rather be sick now, even though it sucks, I'm burning through my free time just laying in bed, being sick and whatnot, but, I mean, I'd rather do that now than, be in school, really gotta hammer it in. It's really important that you, I don't know, stay with those things. I know I sound like old as shit when I say that, though, but it is really important to stay on top of your, like, college work and whatnot, because it can get ahead of you so fast. And that's my big takeaway from this semester is, like next semester, I really gotta buckle down. I can't be missing classes. I can't do any of that shit. And, I mean, obviously, that's easier said than done, but I genuinely believe that if I went into the major that I am in now, like I'm an English major, so if I would have stayed into that major, or if I would have, like, had I been in that major in the first place, and had I not got sick at the beginning of the semester, I'd be in a much better place right now. And I mean, it's okay to struggle. Like, for me, it's really okay to struggle. But at the end of the day, like, out of high school, you control you. So, oh, shit. Oh, fuck's sake. At the end of the day, out of high school, you control you. And, I mean, a lot of people do get that, and I had a lot of trouble getting that because, yeah, my teenage years are, like, they were terrible, my teenage years, like, they didn't treat me well, and, I mean, a lot of it is my fault, but, some of it's not my fault, it's a mixed bag, and I don't think anybody's teenage years really treat them well, because you're going through so many changes, and you're always at war with yourself, trying to pick between two extremes. Like me right now, I'm at this point where, like, where, my longest relationship for a couple years now, it's only been, like, week-long relationships, and I can't really sustain anything. And I think I've bred this, I think I've bred commitment issues, but another thing is, like, I'm an extremely romantic person. Like, I feel a lot of love for the things around me. Like, it's one of my great blessings and great character developments is I've learned to love a lot of things. Like you hear me talk about it a lot with music, and music is the most immediate thing. Because at my core, I am this really pessimistic and nihilistic person, or it's not I am, but I was this really pessimistic and nihilistic person where, like, now I understand it's more than that. Those people, those pothead philosophers. I'm not knocking smoking weed, by the way. I understand people need to do it. I don't smoke weed. I'm completely sober 90% of the time, or I'm completely sober 99.9% of the time, and 100% over the past couple of years for the most part. Um, Virtually always sober, right? But these pothead philosophers that it's like, yeah, man, nothing matters. We live on a floating rock. It's like, yeah, we live on a floating rock. Yeah, that is true, but there's more to life than that, man. Like, you have the ability to feel, and you can't ever deprive yourself of that. You can try to numb that feeling, man. You can do drugs. You can do drugs. You can, um, to get a little deep. To get a little deep, you can cut yourself. You can do drugs. You can do all those things. However, man, you're always gonna feel. It's like a mother can never come. I don't think a mother can ever like separate herself from her children entirely. A mother will always feel some way. Feel maternal towards her children. Always have that empathy inside of her. But like you can never strip yourself of your humanity. Like that's the thing. Like every time people have been like anytime people have tried to strip other people of humanity, it's this horrible, awful thing. And that's how we view like mental health and addiction now. It's like we strip a lot of these people of their humanity, and it's a horrible thing, man. All the addicts in my life, I don't know very many, thankfully, but all addiction is serious, man. Even caffeine addiction is serious. I know this shit is gonna come back to haunt me someday. And I mean, I'm definitely a lot better about it now. I mean, I drink a good a lot. I drink a good portion of just black tea, but I control it better now, and I mean, I'm thankful that I'm not addicted to anything else, but all of it, it's really serious, man. It changes you as a person. And these people I've known going from like high school, they graduate. They graduate and then they become addicted to things like nicotine. It changes you. Nicotine addiction changes people so much. And like even me when I was struggling for a while, not for a while as in like months, but there was a week, 2 week period where I was regularly smoking cigarettes. And like I know that pales in comparison to a lot of people, but it changed me a lot because the short term associations I had with smoking cigarettes, it became like I'm not gonna feel okay. And it goes back to that where it's like I need to start something, so I need to finish it. I would chain smoke like all day. I would chain smoke. I would burn through packs of cigarettes. Not in a day, but I would go like there would always be that part of me where it's like, okay, I'm gonna smoke one more or like two more, and then like I would be done, and I'm like, there are still more cigarettes in that pack, and dude, I need to smoke those, and like that's my thing. Like I tried snuff once, and like I tried it, and after I tried it, I was like, I'm done, right? It was disgusting. It was filthy. I never want to do snuff again. But I realized if I had given it another try, I would have finished the whole thing. I don't know how fast I would have finished it, but it was fucking disgusting. And like I don't like being preachy or anything, but like I pledge my sobriety. I see my sobriety as an utmost good thing, and I think sobriety would do a lot of people a lot of good. And I'm not saying like don't take your antidepressants or anything, because I feel like I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not. Hell, I don't even do these recreational drugs, so it's really not for me to sit here and be like, yeah, you shouldn't do this. But I think like I think people who are addicts should definitely try to give sobriety a chance. And that's the thing with addicts in my life, and reverting back to the thing where it's like I don't know a whole lot of addicts, and I'm very thankful for that. But if someone I knew and loved very dearly became addicted to substances, I would never shove them away, because that's an evil, man. And not even like in a spiritual way. That's so inhuman. Like, to shove someone away because they're struggling is the worst thing. Like, I know, as someone who like someone who is depressed, like right now, like I'm going through this period of depression. This episode right here, this recording right here, is actually helping me a lot. Um, yeah, it's really awesome that I get the opportunity to do this, even if nobody listens. I really appreciate anybody that does listen, but you know, it makes a big difference. But as someone who is depressed, and as someone who I've been around people that do struggle with mental health and everything, and I mean, there are times where I ebb and flow, where I'm like, yeah, I'm a really terrible case. I am. There are times I'm really bad. I push people I love away. I make it inaccessible. I burn bridges. I do all that shit. And then there are other times where I see people. It's like, man, these people need love. You know. And I'm not one of those people that's like, love is a solution to everything. But love, giving people love it's so powerful. But it's so weaponized in my opinion, I feel like love is so weaponized by, like in relationships, like withholding sex from someone. Now I understand that those things happen a lot for various reasons, but like just to do it for power, man, I don't think that's okay at all. And go into a lighter example, like these people that do struggle with like mental health and everything, I understand that it can be draining. you know I've been there. I've been drained. I've been drained by myself. Other people's mental health struggles have drained me. And I mean, that is a totally normal way to feel, and it's not good, but it is normal. And like, everybody has needs, but you can't leave someone to fight their battles alone. But it does fall onto the responsibility of anybody that does have addiction, or is like depressed. They have to make that conscious effort to um make sure they're not alienated, because a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They don't want to alienate people. I mean, I discover that now, like, even these past couple of days, where it's been really hard to reach out to my friends, and I've been struggling. It's like, when I alienate myself, I know I'm doing it to myself. And I mean, make of that what you will, but it comes on to yourself a lot when you're making, or it comes onto the person to make those decisions and decide when is when. And I mean, there are solutions to everything. For the most part, if something's completely out of your control, it's definitely hard to wrestle with. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, love helps a lot of people. And I mean, my friends being there for me, they talk about, not even just people that aren't, like, people that, I don't know, even people that I wouldn't consider my friend, just these conversations and everything, where like I have these heart to hearts. And it's important to be authentic, not to air out all your dirty laundry, but just like just to repeal a lot of the shame culture. Everyone has indecent thoughts, and no one is perfect. And like, these people so caught in society, where it's like I like if you drink, for example, drinking isn't a good moral to have. Obviously, it impedes your ability to socialize. But those people aren't evil because they're drinking. And um, I'm starting to forget where I was going with this, but if we shy away from talking about those things, they become more taboo, and like I said, they alienate people, and we cannot alienate people of our society because it's very harmful. But a lot of love and a lot of acceptance. I'm still trying to learn that myself. Especially when I'm frustrated, it is very hard for me to open my arms to the people around me. It's very difficult, and I'm a very emotional person now, and like I am still in that transitional period where I'm coming from this person that was like kind of borderline sociopathic at times, where I just didn't care. And there are still times where I get into that, where I'll say something and it's like I don't want to be that person, but I'll say something, and it in the guise of trying to be funny, or trying to get that one up over someone, where it's like, oh, you want to do harm to me, so I need to do that to you. And like that's that's not okay. I've been very pacifist for a while, but actually committing to that in all facets other than just physical. You need to be a fascist, or you need to be a fascist. Wow, that's a clip. You need to be pacifist in all realms of life. And obviously there are extreme examples, like if there was a coyote chasing me in the middle of the night, I would defend myself. But unless something poses an immediate threat to you, man, I there those solutions are not good, you know. So I'm still making that transition, as I'm growing up. I'm making that transition as someone who, was very low on emotion, or even though I don't think I was low on emotion, it's just um I only really cared about my own emotions, or my friends' emotions. And now I am someone that, I care about other people's emotions. And I did have to draw that line in the sand, where it's like, I don't care what people think about me or how people perceive me. And I know there are a lot of people out there that don't like me, and I mean, that's okay. They're entitled to that school of thought, but that has no bearing on me and my perceptions of society and the world around me. People not liking me does not make society bad, you know. And in the grand scheme of things, a lot of the reasons people don't like me are completely valid, and byproducts of me being an asshole teenager when I was younger, and that's repercussions. That's consequences. I can't change I can't change a lot of those opinions about me now, but those in the future, people I come into contact with in the future, I can I can give them impressions, and impressions are important. So yeah, and now I do care about people. I care about people I come across, and I'm very emotional. I care about concepts like fatherhood, and I care about concepts of, you know, I care about concepts like poverty. I want, I would hope we live in a world in the future where poverty no longer exists, or that we don't have to worry about, food or shelter. I want to live in that world someday, and I think a lot of it has to do with politics, where I became aligned with the Communist Party, and like I can sit here and say that communism. I'm going to sit here and say now that I am not a communist. I donate to the Communist Party, and I am a communist card holder, but by my definition, I am not an American communist. I do believe in things like nationalism. I think national spirit is important, while not putting down other nationalities. I think it's important to be proud of what your nation has done, and the United States has more than enough reasons to be proud of itself while still criticizing our past. That that being said, however, um, I think politics has influenced it a lot because I do see this now where I've seen the horrors of history, not firsthand, but I've seen it through a lens, and it's like it's so important that we stop the train that is the decimation of the human race by our own hands. You know, and it comes in waves, and it comes in various forms, but I think the betterment of human society is important, you know. And I mean that's all I really have to say for now. But yeah, I care about people. I want people to do well. I want to accept pretty much anybody I can into my life with open arms, and that's a problem I had after the election where you know I I villainized a lot of the people that uh, I villainized a lot of the American people for you know um yeah, I villainized a lot of the American people for being uneducated, and like it's not so much that people voted for Trump, it's that like a lot of these people didn't see the warning signs. And then I looked at it like Donald Trump is a person too, and he's a media personality, so he's bound to act like a media personality. That being said, um, yeah, I don't hold out those sentiments, and I don't want to have those knee jerk reactions because no one of any political party, of any race, nationality, whatever, those people are not my enemies. I have no enemies on this earth, and sure I have my predispositions. You know, predispositions are learned. I'm not gonna say that I treat every person on the earth equally because I don't. You know, and oh fuck, that makes me sound racist. I didn't mean it like that. There are people I know in my life that I am not a fan of, right? Like individuals, not because of their features, but individuals themselves, you know. But that being said, I'm drowsy. I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. Um I hope I'm gonna put this no, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna do that tomorrow after I wake up. But yeah, this will be published tomorrow. I hope I didn't come through wishy washy, but like I mean this wholeheartedly when I say this, that love is such an important part of your life and you should never shut it out. Like people get weird as shit when their friends tell them they love them, and like I'm here to say that I love my friends and my friends mean the world to me. You know, even during the hard times and even people that don't consider me a friend anymore, it's like I still hold a lot of love for those people, and it is super important that you cherish the love you get in your life because I mean, a lot of those memories will for me they save my life sometimes, man. Like yeah, I mean, I don't really talk about all the depression shit, and I try not to talk about it through anything other than music, but man, when I'm really down like this, I just gotta reach into the bank, and I have to reaffirm to myself that it's like there are people that I have the chance to help, you know. Um, there are a lot of people that look to me for answers, you know. Not in like this wisdom way, but these people they count on me to, you know, be there for whatever reason, you know. You know, my friends someday they're gonna have children that someone's gonna need to watch them, you know. My friends someday are gonna need someone to help them move into a new house, you know. And then, you know, someday some of my friends will die and they'll need someone to carry their casket. And someday I'll die and I'll need people to carry my casket, you know. And I mean, all of that is semantics. Like, I probably won't get, you know, thrown in a coffin. I would rather just get cremated. But my point still stands. Like I want to be a guy that people can come to for consolation, or consolidation, I think might be the better word, where these people, not these people, because myself included, where the people come at an impasse, morality, where they need your advice for something, you know or they want to have the opportunity to make memories with you in the future, like they want to go to a movie or something. I wouldn't want to pass that up, because I mean, they say you only live once, but it's true. And looking back at it, I never went to prom or homecoming or anything, and I'm always going to live with that in my mind, where it's like, yeah, I wish I would have done that instead of being afraid. But I mean, obviously the circumstance was different, and it's okay, but yeah, that being said, it's I don't want to live a life of regret anymore. And I talked to someone who I hadn't talked to in a long time yesterday, and I'm just going through a moment of clarity right now, and I'm really actually starting to put the past away. And instead of living my life where I mean, I have put the past away, but it wasn't in a true nature. It was more like I buried the skeletons in my closet instead of like completely disposing them. And now, never forgetting the things that I have actually done wrong, you know the things that I have actually done, being unfaithful, being un being uncaring, being manipulative, being a sex addict in the past, being someone, being faithless, not in a religious sense. I mean, yes, in a religious sense, I wouldn't say I'm religious all that much now either, but being faithless, and, being uncaring, being materialistic, being greedy, being power hungry, all those things I once was, you know, accepting that I'm not a perfect person now, and not necessarily loving myself, but accepting myself. And I'm starting to feel that change within myself, where I don't feel like I have to hate myself anymore. I deserve to be more uncritical of myself. I deserve to be hard on myself, as all people do. Like, every person deserves to be hard on themselves every now and again. Not all the time, because there are things people are good at, and I mean, I know what I'm good at. I've known what I'm good at now. I know my importance to the human species, and I know the importance I have to myself. But just taking it all in and getting rid of those skeletons in my closet, I take this big deep breath, and I'm like, and I just exhale everything that's afflicted me emotionally, all the battered, bruising, beating that I've done. And I can just sit back in my chair and say, war is over. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for attending this evening. We are Panic at the Disco. Now, how many of you are in the mood to dance? Wait, this isn't the Camisado Live in Denver opening. Thank you for listening. Anybody that stumbles across this, I use this as a beacon of, I use this as a gesture of kindness. I don't understand everything that people are, I judge people. I do judge people. Usually, like, almost never negatively, but I do judge people. Everybody judges other people, but I offer this as a beacon of love, acceptance, forgiveness. I also use this as a beacon of beckoning for forgiveness. I want to be by the people I've done wrong, major or minor. You know, and you know, I throw caution to the wind. Never ever forget what people do. You know, never ever forget the wrong that has been done to you, but don't carry that weight with you and choose to forgive. You know, I'm preaching a lot of peace. This is all going out the window when I'm playing Battlefield, though. If you use a shotgun on, or if you use a shotgun, sit on the roof during Ballroom Blitz, or use the SMG 08/16, you're the fucking scourge of the earth. You're the salt of the earth if you do that shit. Other than that, most people are in my good graces. I'd say goodbye, but goodbye is actually a contraction of God be with you. So, were it to apply with you, or were it to apply to you, God be with you. But as it stands, good night, everybody. I got all sentimental and shit. Yeah, I did get really sentimental, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, amigos and amigas. This is Evan Button, bidding you adieu. Take care.